Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing the next 4 stages of the Fanhome release of Build KITT from Knight Rider. So stages 83 to 86. Now if you remember in the last pack we actually worked on these mechanical headlights that we've got here. We're actually going to be putting some body panels on this. We're actually going to be putting the scanner on the front of it. We don't actually put it on the car yet, but you know me, I am going to put it on the car at the end, just so you can see what this looks like. Coming together, it doesn't really look like there's much to do now. If you like what you see, and you have watched the playlist of this, there is a playlist up here, just so you know, so you can watch this all the way from pack 1. You can order this from pack 1, and you can do that by following the link in the video description or scanning that QR code on the screen there. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So it all starts with stage 83 here. I've got a feeling I am going to need my part work upgrades back today. So I'm just going to show you just through the magazine here. Each stage comes with its own magazine, and as you can see, we're going to be working on one of the wings here. So we have got some reflectors to put in here, and I think that's all we have to do in that stage. So this should be a nice quick one. So here you go, stage 83, and those reflectors there. This part's very well protected in here. Let's get this out. All I'm going to do, turn this over, and I've got this amber lens here, which is just going to go over the 2 metal lugs that we've got just there. And then quite simply, the reflector behind it, which has got an R stamped onto it, that's actually going to keep that pieced into place by putting that on top, just like that. And it's going to be held in with these EM screws. Going into metal, so a little bit of oil on there and get them in. Look, I haven't put the mat down because I'm using my hand. So that's one. You want it tight, not too tight to break the plastic though. And this one here, number 2. So showing you from this side, that's what that looks like, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 84, there's a lot more to do in this one, and I mean a hell of a lot more. So let me just flick through the magazine here. And as you can see, we've got a little arch that's going to go on the wing we've just created. We're going to be putting some details on that wing. We're then going to be bringing over the bonnet. Now, we haven't seen that for a while. Let me just show you this here. This is what the bonnet's looking like at the moment. If I turn it upside down, we're going to have to lubricate these hinges up because we are going to be installing the bonnet onto the frame of the car. Now, when that's in position, we're actually going to be putting the wing that we've just created on the car as well. So by the end of it, really coming together, it's going to look just like that. I'm not going to take any risks now, so part work upgrade mat at the ready, because I don't want to scratch anything. So I'm going to bring over that wing we've just been working on. Now in the channel that we've got just here, we've got this lovely grille to put on. It can only go in one way, it'll only fit one way, but that's going to go in just like that. We're going to close that off by putting this vent over the top, stamped with an R, and that's going to be going in like that. And that's held in from the other side with BP screws. So let's get these in. One there. And one underneath. Quite a clever design that you look through that vent and then see the grille. I like that. The last thing to do is to take this arch here, and it's going to go onto these 3 lugs at the top, this way round, just over like, oh, get it lined up, that there. That's going to be held in with EM screws.
Medic!
I don't know if anyone just saw that. I just made another sacrifice to the blood gods of modelling. Oh dear. I just nicked myself with the scalpel. Oh well, trying to open this EM screw bag up. Okay, well, it is what it is. I've now got a plaster on my finger. Now these EM screws are going into metal, so I have put them in some oil. Now it takes 3 of these. I can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I just nicked my finger. If you remember right at the start of this build, I rammed a screwdriver in my hand as well. And now I've cut myself. Actually, that's the first time I've cut myself with the scalpel properly. So, these things happen. Now, obviously, there is a safety recommendation here. I make mistakes so you don't have to. And all that. Don't put scalpels into your fingers. Now, this is where it wants me to bring over the bonnet. And I'm going to use a cotton bud here and some oil. And just oil up the hinges of the bonnet here. So I'm going to give that a good soaking over. And do the same on the other side. Now, when I originally did this, I did already put some oil on there. So really what I'm doing is just topping that up. And just open and close it a couple of times to make sure that's worked in no problems at all. So now this is going to go on the car. So if I have the car around this way like this, probably on the side camera's best, I'm just going to put this into position where it's going to go. Just like that there. Now really you should be doing this with the headlights down. I think I'll be okay though, because they're going to be held in with GM screws. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm holding that with my hand, and with some GM screws, I'm going to screw these into positions onto the 2 holes I've got here, and the 2 holes on the other side just here. So there's one just going in this side here. I haven't put it fully tight at the moment. I'm just putting enough in to keep this into position. And then the same on the other side here. So that's 2. Got 2 more to put in. And that's the bonnet in place. So you sort of check the bonnet fits in place, no problems at all. So it comes up and out and then down and in, just like that. So put that back down. I'm going to turn it over because we're going to be attaching that wing that we've just been creating. Now that's going on this side of the car here. So I'm just going to line this up into position of where it's going to go. Making sure everything's lining up, just like that there. It's going to be held in with 2 EM screws. That's just 2 EM screws initially at the moment. I'm sure there's going to be more. I'm going to use my bigger screwdriver just to help drive this in tight. Perfect. And at the back, we are holding it in with more screws. This time, 2 VM screws. And just one down the bottom here. Turn that back over. And there we go. So the bonnet's on. And we've also got the wing now. Looking just like that. Lovely lines, look. Excellent. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 85 here, again, another quick flick through the magazine. We're going to be doing the next wing. We've done this one before. Put the reflector in so it looks just like that. Now I would say this is a nice easy stage, but you know what? I've got a plaster to prove that isn't the case sometimes. So, similar to what we did last time, we're going to take the amber lens. That's just going to go there with the L facing upright. And again, with the L facing upright on the reflector, that's just going to go on top like that. Held in with these EM screws. Don't cut yourself. You did good. Right, okay. Put that in a bit of oil. And get that in. Perfect. And do the same on the bottom one. And with that lens in, that is all there is to do in that stage. So to finish this pack off, big stage, probably the most iconic stage of the build. We are going to be mounting the scanner in this stage. So let me just, again, flick through the magazine to show you what we're going to be doing. And as you can see, we're going to be putting the arch again onto the wing. Then we're going to be getting the scanner. We've got some details to put on that by the look of it. Putting this onto the car, tracing the wires through this hole here, just so you know, I've already done this bit, and I will show you that when we get round to it. Locking this into position so the wires aren't going anywhere, and then we've got some little clamps here to make sure that these cables don't go anywhere as well. By this time the scanner's actually on the car, and then we're putting some EM screws in to keep that into place, attaching the wings, and by the end of it, it's almost looking like a completed vehicle. So can I get through the rest of this stage without cutting myself is the question. So just like last time, I'm taking the wing over, and as you can see, we've got the grille that's just going to go into this vent at the side. And again, it can only go in one way, so I'm just going to drop that in the correct way, like that. Put over the vent on the top, and that's held in with BP screws. Just like last time, we've got the arch to put in. That's just going to go into this position just here, held in with EM screws. And there we go, that's in place like that. Let's bring the scanner over. This is what the scanner is looking like at the moment. We're going to be putting a bit of adhesive just over the top here. That looks just like this. Take the backing paper off. And I want to put this into a channel that I've got just at the top here. Got in lovely. Just like that. Because we're about to now put this into the car. So let's turn this over gently. And I'm going to align this tab just there with the post that I've got just there with a GM screw. So that's going to go in there with a GM screw. So I'm putting that in. And I've tightened that up, so now the scanner is on the front there just like that. Now we're going to be putting 2 GM screws through this side here. So I've got the top one in, I'm just going to put the bottom one in now on this side. And there we go, the scanner's in place. Just 2 GM screws in this side, that's all you need to do. On this side, we are now just going to tidy these wires up. So I want these wires to go in the same direction of the wires that I've already done here, but they are going to go through this hole on this side over here. Now I've already traced the other wires behind it up. I'm just going to take the adhesive off that I've put there, just so that I can batch these all together now. Just like that. Once again, I'm going to hold them down with just a bit of adhesive here, because I'm going to be putting some tabs just across this section here. And there you go. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put these in off camera because they were facing me rather than the camera there. But they're in position. All we've got to do now is just put the wing on that we created. One important thing to do is when you are putting this in here, is just make sure that these cables are going around the 2 holes that we've got here and here. Hopefully you can see that. Otherwise you're not going to be able to get this into place. That was quite hard to put in. You do really want to make sure that those wires aren't pinched in the holes there. I'm pretty happy that mine are pretty perfectly in place. So I'm going to screw these in now. These are EM screws, remember, on this side. So I'll get this one in now. Remember, it's 2 EM screws this side. Excellent. And then just at the back here, we've got VM screws. So I've turned that back over, and as you can see, the scanner's now in position. We've got the wings on both sides of the car completed. So that's all there is to do in that stage. I am going to put this on the car and see if we can get this all connected up. So from finishing the stage to actually showing you this stage, it's taken me 3 hours. The reason being is when I actually did a test, one of the headlights wasn't working. A wire had snapped. And then when I fixed that, I went back into it and noticed that the scanner now wasn't working, and I had severed through a wire with a screw, which is typical. But put it all back together, and as you can see, the lights are working, and ready? There you go. Scanners are working too. And as you can see, everything's working in the inside here. These things happen, they're sent to test us. That's why I've got all of my soldering stuff out here, where I've been fixing everything. But everything now works, so I am pretty happy with how that looks. So I'm not going to lie to you. That was like issue 91 of the DeLorean all over again. Easy issue to do. But because of my stupidity, cutting my fingers open and going through wires, I made it hard work for myself. But as you saw, the headlights now work, the scanner works, everyone's happy till the next stage. We'll have to see when that comes around. But I really do hope you like that video. Now listen, if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link down here to the Fanhome website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.